Hey everyone, welcome to Mental Hellness. I am super excited to be back. I've taken a couple of weeks to do some things, but now I'm back. And I'm really excited that we have Rhiannon Archer to join us today. Rhiannon, and I've got a lot of stuff to say about Rhiannon, so let's get to it. Rhiannon was named one of 6 hilarious female comedians you don't know, but you should, and you should, I'm telling you from experience, by Bitch Media. She's been a part of so many festivals throughout North America. Just for Laughs 42, North by Northeast, Bridgetown Comedy Festival, Dark Comedy Festival, Boston Women in Comedy, and Seattle International Comedy Competition. She has been nominated twice for 2 Canadian Comedy Awards for Best Stand-Up Newcomer and Best Comedy Short for a one-woman show, which she wrote and starred. Rhiannon lives in Toronto with her husband and 2 kids, both under the age of 5. She tells me that she can't do math under pressure. She likes mangoes and she hates mushrooms. So there you go. Let's get her in here. Da, 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 da.
Hello.
Hello. Hey.
I finally found you.
I found you. I see. Where's your face?
Hold on. I'm trying to adjust.
I love technology.
Okay.
There. Yep. There you are.
There we go. Hi.
Hi,
Rhiannon. Literally hiding.
Hi. Are you
hiding in my bedroom?
Are kids not napping?
One is, yeah.
I just said in the intro, I shared a bunch of stuff about you, but then I also said that you have 2 kids under the age of 5. So that's where the mental hellness comes from, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you? How has the last few months been treating you? Be honest.
It's a fucking nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare. I have a 22-month now. When he started, it was 18 months. I have a 22-month-old and a almost 5-year-old. And it's a nightmare because both my husband and I still work full time, and it's a fucking nightmare. It is a nightmare. I have had 5 cigarettes. I've smoked 5 cigarettes since March, and I don't smoke. I don't smoke. But I
was just gonna ask. Like,
I'm going out.
5 cigarettes. Has that helped in any way? It has. Okay.
Unfortunately, I hate to say it, it did, because sometimes, so I've done a lot of mindfulness in the past.
Okay.
And to really check in with yourself, do a lot of breathing exercises, but sometimes just the going out and it doesn't help. And
yeah.
I casually smoked as a younger person, I was about to say as a young child, but and I do really feel that it's a stress relief. It's not necessarily nicotine, because I've always been able to take it or leave it. Like, I'd have a cigarette at a party and then I didn't need to have one.
Yep.
But I do feel it is the breathing in and the breathing out and giving you a purpose while you do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, fuck it. And I've gained quite a bit of weight.
Okay.
From drinking wine.
Wine morning, noon, and night. I mean, you're not alone. Like, these are
you know what? At least I wait till 5.
Oh,
but it's like, and yeah, I say wine, like, I'm not like, I really don't like the glorified mom life of just drinking wine all the time, and I know that it's not a great way to deal with your stress, but it just ended up being out of boredom. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'll have a glass of wine, and then one glass turns into 2, and then I'm in bed by 9.
It serves a purpose, man. Like, I think one of the reasons that I wanted to do a little chat show like this is because I want to point out some of the funny stuff, but the awkward stuff around mental health, because I think we're starting to have more serious conversations, which we should have. Absolutely. We need to open up conversation, smash stigma and all that kind of stuff. But I think there's room now to be able to say, especially if you deal with mental health issues, that some of it is really fucking crazy, and not all our choices are healthy. You know, like not all our,
No, and you know what? Sometimes you got to self-soothe in a way that, you know, and I
yeah,
understand it's a slippery slope.
yeah,
You know, especially with addiction and using alcohol,
yeah,
cigarettes, or drugs, you know, for different coping mechanisms.
yeah.
But, you know, I think a pandemic is an unprecedented situation that is like,
Well,
what am I
exactly.
going to do?
Yeah,
And it's a bad mixture of, it's an emotional roller coaster.
hmm,
It's no end in sight, and it's pure boredom. It's not that I'm bored with my family or bored with my husband. It's just when there's no end in sight, what are you going to do? Like, you
it,
know, it makes it a little bit easier. But at the same time, and I've actually recognized that, you know, to me, people are like, oh, one or two glasses a night every other night is not a problem. But to me, it started turning into a coping
yeah.
mechanism. So now I just stew. I
Okay,
stew. I stew in my own anger.
that was going to be my next question. So when you think about mental healness, so what
Hmm.
comes to mind for you? Like what goes on for Rhiannon? Are you
Like just with
anxious?
the
Are you,
word mental
yeah, like
healthness.
what's your deal? Are you an anxious
Um,
one? Are you depressed? Are you like where do you land on all of this stuff?
I can go through situational.
Yeah.
I can go through, so I go through situational depression. I'm not anxious. I'm not self-destructive
Hmm.
or paranoid or anything like that, but I do suffer from situational depression.
Okay.
And it's not a fact that that I'm always depressed or that I go in and out of bouts. It
Yeah.
will be a certain specific thing will grasp on and hold on to it, and I do this sort of mental, you know, circle and loops in this
Yeah.
behavioral thinking.
Yeah.
um, and it will last anywhere from like a week to a week and a half, and then it will be gone. And it's just like a weird situational thing that'll come
Yeah.
up. But the problem that I am finding as I dig further into it is that, um, if say Lori, you and I, we were supposed to go out, and for the fifth time you've canceled, like just say for that,
Yeah. I would
I'm not
never
going to be
do
mad
that.
at you about the fifth time. No, no, I know. But like life happens.
Yeah.
And, but like say you were doing that like the fifth time,
Mhm.
I'm not going to be mad at you about the fifth time. I'm going to be mad at you about every single time you've done it.
Of
And
course.
then I internalize it, and it makes me
Yeah.
depressed because I'd be like, why is Lori doing this? What have I done? Oh, it's because of, you know, it's not that
Something.
I'm like, oh, I'm not that smart or blah, blah, blah. Like I've done something. And
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what? I do get actually a little paranoid sometimes, especially thinking about what other people think and think of me. But then I usually, after a week or so, being like, I don't care.
Oh
I don't
man,
give a
I
shit.
see.
I'm great.
I would like to get there because I'm super
Hmm.
paranoid. I'm super paranoid, and I'm overly anxious and depressed, and you name it, and I am it.
Hmm.
And I always think I wish I wasn't as self-aware as I am, because then if all of this stuff was happening, I would just sort of be in it. But when I'm feeling paranoid, or if that situation that you're talking about, if you canceled on me 5 times, I'd immediately go to, it's my fault. And I would stew in it, and I would stay in it, and I would believe it to be true. But there would be this voice somewhere in the muddled part of my brain that says, like, you're fucked. This is crazy. This is not true. But the paranoid thoughts always win. Like they
Now,
always
do you
win.
think, just out of curiosity, because
Yeah.
you said that you are being very self-aware, is kind of like a weird thing. Are you self-aware that you could possibly be incorrect about how your brain is working?
Yes. Yes.
Because you're saying like, oh, I'm so self-aware about, you
Yeah.
know, about how I am and how people, and I'd be like, well, that
Yeah.
doesn't sound very self-aware at
Oh
all. That
no, no.
sounds like
And there
self-paranoid.
there's the dichotomy, right? There's the
Yeah.
two things, is that, you know, it's kind of like when I'm in a depression, and I don't know about you, but like you were saying, like, so it might last for like a week or something like that. And then, you know, at some point it's going to end. And so for
Hmm.
me, I know at some point it's going to lift, or I know at some point I'm going to calm down. But
That
knowing
doesn't calm
that,
me down
it
while I'm
doesn't,
in it though.
no,
Nope.
no, not at all. Not at
I
all.
think I'm thinking a lot of my problems are right now because of the last couple years. I'm starting to like, I don't know, they're like doctors are just starting to like see things, but I really truly am thinking that I have a really bad hormone imbalance because every time, and this happened right after I had my first son, so almost 5 years ago. As I get closer to my period,
Yeah.
I would just get thrown into a deep depression, and I couldn't figure out why it was.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden I'd get my period, and then I'd be like, oh, everything's great. Keep forgetting, but like it gets like really dark, really hopeless, really like, what is the point? My life sucks and this and that. And it's just so bizarre, and it's so like overwhelming and just like engulfing because I think it is a lot to do with hormones because I can almost feel that like if I look at like my period tracker, I could tell like, oh, the week before I'm
Yep.
menstruating, but the week before I'm going to get depressed. And it's one of those things that I'm starting to work with a really great endocrinologist. Go
Oh,
figure, you go to like the women's health college where it's a bunch of women who are like, no, that's a real thing. And I'm like,
well, and I think I, I have to believe that that's true, because how can it not be true? Like there's just, there's story after story after story, and, you know, situation after situation where you hear this, and women are experiencing this. Now, in my case, I'm in menopause,
mm-hmm.
similar thing.
Yeah.
How can being in menopause and losing estrogen not affect my mood? Like
Oh, it's the same. It's the exact same. You have children right after you have a son, right?
yeah, I do. Yeah.
Right after you had your son, doesn't it, aren't you feeling the same way you did right now?
Oh
Like
yeah.
you get hot flat, like when like my milk came in and I got my postpartum depression,
Hmm.
um it was because I had just such a crash of hormones.
Yeah.
I felt gross, and you have this hormonal roller coaster. My hair was falling out, I had hot flashes, I couldn't sleep, I had so much anxiety brought on by like a new baby and all these things, and of course it's going to send you into such a depression.
Yep.
I didn't have it as bad with my first son, but my second son Alfie, pretty upset.
And that's not fair, because you would think that you'd get it out of the way with the first son, and you think, oh, now you're smooth sailing, and then your
Mhm.
second one nails you.
Yeah, you know what? And the thing is, well, my again, situational, really situational. I had a really horrible situation during my pregnancy. I had just a ridiculous nonsense thing go down, which caused a lot of issues, but also a really amazing outcomes. My life is like 1,000 times better now. My husband and I are so much closer, and we have such a great open communication. But after that, my second son just kept getting sick,
Oh.
and it was really difficult. He's fine now, but it was really difficult. And then right around the 10-month mark, I think he has a speech delay. We're going to go see a speech therapist about it because it's almost like he turned colic at 10 months.
Oh wow.
And the noise pollution in the house of just a child screaming because we've had him checked out. He hits every single milestone for his age, a little advanced,
Yeah.
except for speech, which is completely not advanced. And
Hmm.
I know, and we're trying to figure out why. We'll figure it out. He's really smart, really funny, communicates really well, but by screaming. And
But
so that, pushed me into such just a miserable funk. And I was also like in a really shitty job, and really horrible job. And yeah, so it was all situational. I completely flipped and changed the situation, but
and then
that's my thing.
and then a pandemic happened.
Oh my gosh, I was so excited. No, here's the thing. I almost like for the first couple months I was walking around being like, I did this. I did this. Like I made this pandemic. Because I finally got like I love my children. I don't really love mat leave. I find mat leave really difficult. I find you really lose yourself in mat leave, and it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, I didn't really have any help at all,
Mm-hmm.
except for my husband.
Yeah.
Um, I had a lot of people caring for the baby, but not many people asking me how I was.
Right. Which happens
Um,
for sure.
yeah, like I don't have a really good relationship with my mom, and so I didn't have that. And my cousin, who's a phenomenal mother, and um, she does everything baby. She's a birthing coach, and just all around amazing. She told me that babies need their mom, and moms need their moms, and so
Yeah.
I didn't get that,
Yeah.
and that's fine. I have aunts and grandparents and who stepped in and looked after me, but it was a really 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 hard time. I started babbling on that. What was my point on that again?
No, I'm just, it's
It is
just,
hard. It's really hard. It's
it,
very hard. Oh yeah.
it,
So anyways, what I was saying, so I was really excited for my son to go into daycare and for me to go
oh,
back to work. And
yep.
um the first week that I had my little son into a daycare, my older son in the school got shoved and for no reason, and cracked his head open.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And yeah, that gave me a lot, and I still have anxiety about it. I have a lot of anxiety about the kids going back to school, not so much because of COVID, just because I know there was kids that were getting support that they needed for behavioral and developmental issues.
Right.
And they, heartbreakingly have not had those supports for the past 6 months. So
Yeah.
how are they going to be when they return?
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
my son doesn't need another crack in the back of his head.
No,
So
no
he
one
was
needs
off.
that.
Yeah, so he was off for a week. Then I was ready to put him back into school, and then the strikes happened.
Oh, gee, right. I forgot about those.
And I don't have any help, people to come in and like all of my parents and my husband's parents, they work.
Mm-hmm.
And so nobody could come and help me and look after him. And my husband, has a job that's better than mine, shockingly, because he's male. And he's good at his job. Um, but so that I had to go back to work, and then I had to take a week off, and then I had to take another week off, and then they did the rolling strike, so it was like 1 week on, 1 week off. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like
Mm-hmm.
everything's closed. Then pandemic happens, and I'm like I just really wanted to go back to work so badly that like God was like, nope.
No, no work for you.
Oh,
No,
no break for you.
no.
And now I've been stuck inside with a lovable but very trying 4-year-old
Yeah.
and a 22-month-old who still just screams all day long.
Wow. And
So I've
so,
had 5 cigarettes.
and you've had 5 cigarettes, but
So I've had 5 cigarettes.
you've only had 5 cigarettes,
Yeah.
right? So you're basically a quivering mass of hormones who
Yeah.
smokes now,
No,
and
I stopped. I smoked up until May. Whatever. I'll probably still bomb one every now and again.
whatever.
Yeah, I
I,
don't care.
you look cool. Smoking looks cool.
Yeah, I look really cool too. Because people like, yeah, I don't know. But so yeah, so just a bunch of hormones that can set me off. Like it's like a domino effect from the past.
Yeah, yeah,
You do
yeah.
something, I'm like, you did this. And I was blessed with an immaculate memory.
Oh
Like
man.
it's outrageous. It's outrageous the things that and I'm often like one of the biggest pet peeves of mine and like just instant rage is where I'll be talking about something and it will make me feel crazy because I'm like, no, you said that. You said and did that. And then they're like, no, I didn't. You're remembering wrong. And I'm like, here we fucking go.
Oh man, and I'm with you on that. I remember everything. I'm not a grudge holder. I
Oh,
wouldn't say,
I
are you?
will.
Do you hold grudges? Are you a grudger?
Oh my God. My
See,
husband makes fun of me all the time because I wish like the most horrible death upon you.
so you're like, you're dead to me. Like this happened, you're dead to me.
Oh yeah. But then if
Okay.
somebody's like, you're really pretty, be like, they're not that bad. They're not that bad. They're not.
So it's easy to get on your good side, but just as easy to get on your bad side.
No, it's really hard. It's really hard. For instance, I had this one person, it was close. They were family, consistently did shitty things. And I gave them the benefit of doubt because, they were in my family, so I couldn't really get rid of them.
Right.
But I was like, okay, they're going through this, they're going through that, they're going through this. But they kept doing these really horrible, shitty things that even other family members were like,
That's shitty.
and yeah, that person I'm done with, and it's fine because I feel that since I'm a big person of not that you're dead to me, but I'm a big person that you are removed. You are absolutely removed.
Right. You have no
You'll never
impact.
get in.
Right.
And you know what? I can see you. I don't wish anything bad on you. You're not a good person to me.
Mhm.
And, you've been given more than many ample chances
Yep.
to redeem yourself. And the sad thing is, and I don't know whether it's me and it could be my own outlook and my own like self-esteem,
Yeah.
looking into it, but I do this a lot. And people gaslight me on this, and I always want to tell them to fuck off. They'll gaslight me by saying that I expect too much from people.
Oh,
And it's like,
right.
no, I don't expect that much from people. I expect you to treat me the way that I treat you and
Yeah. It's
respect me.
simple. It's
Even if,
simple.
yeah. And even if I've removed myself from somebody like this person, I've removed myself. I don't really talk to them. I don't engage with them, but at no point would I ever be rude to them. Sometimes
Right.
I find it difficult to listen to them because when the few times I have to be around them,
Mm-hmm.
they're very difficult to listen to because they don't listen to themselves.
Right.
And it's just like, oh my God.
Are you hearing this?
Yeah. And it's just always like, I can't. I don't know. I feel like I've been awakened though. I feel like I've really been awakened, and it's like a blessing and a curse because
Yeah.
I'm also like, I'm not going to put up with your shit, but I do have to put up with you, and I have to put up with people that, you know, can look the blind eye towards it.
I
But
think
again, I'll never disrespect this person. I don't wish anything upon them, but it's just one of those things that I struggled with, and it's one of the mental obstacles that I'm very proud of that I got over.
I I think that's brilliant because I don't know how to, I don't hold grudges,
Mm-hmm.
but I let things bother me a lot. So
Yeah.
I do that even if a person is shitty to me, I still somehow take on that I deserve that.
Oh,
So
baby, no,
right,
no, Lori,
but
no, you don't.
I take it. I think I'm a pretty rad person actually, but
You
but
are.
I take it on, and I would love, like, I'm listening to you and I'm thinking that's what I want. I want to be able to downgrade the importance certain people have in my life, and that comes, I think, from liking yourself more,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a process.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're dealing with mental health issues, you're always kind of questioning yourself and your self-esteem and stuff like that. But I think it's so healthy to be able to say, you know what, I refuse for this to have a negative impact on my life anymore because it's not serving you, right?
Yeah,
Like
but
that.
I do agree. Like I've had to deal with that. Like I talk with my therapist a lot. I've been with her for over 10 years now. She's phenomenal. I absolutely adore her. But we do have this conversation a lot because like it isn't, but like it's just so hard to grasp on that it's not you, it is them.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
reflection of them. And if you can sit there and take yourself out of it and look at them, like, people have been shitty to me in the past. I'm like, yeah, they may look like they have everything, but deep down, like, if you're
Yeah.
happy, you do not act like that, right? Like, bullies
Exactly.
don't bully other kids if they're not bullied at home. Like, it's always
Yes,
like that.
it's
And I just
true.
find that one thing I've really, 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 really stopped myself with is that trying to, God, it's like trying to read somebody else's mind.
Yeah.
Like, I will
Yeah.
never, ever, ever know why Lori canceled on me for the 5th time. And I used to sit there and try to think and put answers in it to justify it to me when it's pointless. You'll never know. You will
And
absolutely never know. With
and
breakups,
yeah.
with friendships, with situations, you'll never know. And I can finally say like, oh my God, I do not care.
Oh, that's
It took me
absolutely
eons to
wow.
do that. And a lot
So
of tears and a lot of anger, but and I'm not always good at it. It doesn't work every single day. Cause then I'll still be like, why did one thing actually that I, I love this. And this is something that I've been doing a lot lately because I would internalize what a lot of people would say to me. I don't
yes.
know what it is.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll never know,
Yeah.
but a lot of people, I think because they think I'm a comedian or because of my personality, a lot of people they say mean things that
Yeah.
they think that they're joking. And it's like, no, that's really horrible. That's really,
It's
really
not
mean.
funny.
It's not funny. It's not a joke. Perfect example. I had just come back from mat leave with my second son after having a fucking hell of a time. I'm in a production meeting with about 12 other of my coworkers,
Yeah.
and the head of the department says, welcome Rhiannon back after 18-month mat leave. I couldn't get a daycare spot, and I couldn't fucking afford infant care on the shit pay they gave me.
Right.
But then he turns around in front of everybody and says, so how does it feel to earn your living now?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I just
Stab.
looked at him. I looked at him, and no, nobody said anything.
No,
Nobody came. Of course they didn't.
no.
And I was like, pardon me? He's like, it was a joke. I'm like, okay, give me a second. Hold on. I just want to think of a professional way to call you a dick. Um, Let me think here. And he was like, what? And I'm like, that's not like,
It's not
you
funny.
it's not funny. Also,
No,
you don't know what I went through. How
nope.
does it, and I'm like, also, mat leave is a joke along with the pay. I quit that job. I'm so happy.
Uh,
Um,
oh
but yeah,
man.
but one thing I've learned to do in order to combat that and to stop the internalization, because
Yeah,
people would say weird things that I didn't know how to take, and it was like that sounded snarky, but I wasn't sure.
yeah, yeah.
So now if somebody does that, because I have a few people in my life, friends and family, who say things like that, and instead of getting mad, like I want to and blow up and like at them, I just say, I'm sorry, what did you mean by that?
I love it. Can I, because we're getting really close to the end of
Yeah,
our time
sorry.
together.
So
No, no, no. But that, what you just said, because I was going to ask you, what is a Rhiannonism or something to leave people with before we
yeah.
sign off here? Say that again. Say that what you,
Oh, yeah.
that's,
In order to stop and cut people off dead in their tracks,
yeah,
because I listen, I'm a communicator.
yeah.
Um, when people say something snarky and they say something that I know later on, I'm going to fucking stew about it. At 2 a.m., I'm going to wake up and be like, what the hell did that mean?
Yeah.
In the moment, calm yourself and just ask them, I'm sorry, what do you mean by that? Just
Yeah.
ask them what they mean by that. They go like, oh, I just meant that it's this and that. And I'm like, oh, okay, because that came out really wrong. Like that came out really rude. And like, what are
That's,
they going to do? Because they're the ones who said it. So
they're the
don't
one.
let somebody's bullshit make you feel less than.
Oh, yes.
But
Don't
it's
see.
hard. It's
It is hard. It
hard.
is. It's hard, but I mean, I think it's a lesson we can all learn and take it to heart, because I think we are way too hard on ourselves at, in every avenue of life.
Hmm.
So I'm going to use that. I'm going to write it down, because I can see myself doing that. Like I can see that being a strategy for future reference. So this has been
Because
amazing.
because a lot of the times when somebody says something, I usually turn around and I get mad
Yeah.
and then I don't say anything and then
Right.
later on.
Yep.
So if you
This
just have
way.
that in the back of your mind,
Yep.
because then, it's not rude, it's just asking them to,
Clarify.
clarify, oh, okay, yes, you are being a dick. Okay,
Yeah.
have a good day.
Awesome.
Sorry your parents never hugged you.
Oh,
Anyways,
thanks.
yeah,
No, thanks, Rhiannon. Thank you so much for chatting with me today. We could keep on going.
I
Um,
know.
but I totally appreciate it. And I would never cancel on you. So just
Especially not 5 times.
not 5 times ever. So listen, take it easy. Thanks. Have a great
Oh, thank
afternoon.
you. Bye.
Bye. That was Rhiannon Archer. She is so awesome. And that is some really great advice. What did you mean by that? What did you mean by that? I'm going to try to do that. I think that is my takeaway for today. I hope that you got something out of the day that you can use. That's why we do these chats. So I appreciate you tuning in, and be well.